Hi, I'm Roxy.
And I'm Diana. This is episode 7 of We Watch Stupid. We're going over season 6, episode 7 of Before the 90 Days, Fatal Attraction.
Ooh, this is a doozy.
As soon as I saw the little thumbnail, and it was Jasmine, I was like, yeah, she's gonna kill him.
Oh my god, they are really a piece of work. Although it looks like they eventually go to therapy, so
yes,
good news there. How many times have you? Okay, that's what I thought. Most people don't like to be on camera having diarrhea, but Statler, different story.
Okay. Let's jump right in. We're doing Statler and Dempsey.
Yeah, let's.
Okay. So I listened to the last episode and I had a lot of FOMO. I was mostly jealous, but also happy that, that We Watch Stupid continued, even though I was in Tennessee. And you guys were giving her way too much thought, in my opinion.
Okay.
Statler just loves drama. She's like, she reminds me of this like boy mentality where she like falls in love fast and then also falls out of love fast. And she just is a drama queen. She loves drama. Like she walks into that room, and which is a lovely room. That hotel looked awesome.
Yeah.
And she's like, the bathroom's too close to the bed. That's how it is in hotels.
Yeah, just overthinking everything.
Yeah, and just like making up this scenario that's like horrible. And then I bet you she was really happy that the bathroom was so close to the bed once she got diarrhea. Yeah, so she leaves the door open when she's diarrheaing.
You can control to an extent, like just talking about reality shows in general, like you can control your narrative and what they film and don't film to an extent. And you don't have to agree to shit on camera.
I'm pretty sure that was her like selfie camera too.
Just like, and I don't know if you've watched, you said you watched a little bit of The Other Way. Brandon shitting on camera in like the first 5 seconds.
Oh my god, I love the producers.
He's also like so young and impressionable. They're probably just like, yeah, this will make good film. And he'll be like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll shit on camera.
No, because they 100% do that. Okay, anyway, back to Statler. How much do you think that urgent care bill cost?
In England, it's socialized healthcare. So,
but even for visitors,
it always goes Australia. I took my sister to urgent care in Germany one time, and there was no cost.
0. Impressive. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh, and I found out I had asthma when I was living in Sweden because I went to the doctor, and yeah, there was no cost.
Asthma?
Yeah, it was cold. It's cold in Sweden. Did you know? And so I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, I feel like I have a cold all the time, but I'm like not sick otherwise. And then he did a couple of tests and he was like, well, you're old now, so your lungs are bad. And I was like, stupid Swedish doctor, you don't know anything. And he like sent me home with some inhalers and he was like, use these every day. And then I didn't. And then I went back and I was like, why do I still feel like I can't breathe? And he was like, are you using the inhalers? And I'm like, no. But all that to say, he was right. And it didn't cost me anything.
Wow. Impressive. So she's got a parasite. Which
is like, I just don't believe that. Like, she's like so anxious. How did she get a parasite between Irving, Texas and Manchester, England?
Well, is a parasite just another word for food poisoning?
I mean, maybe. But like, where would she have gotten food poisoning eating plain food?
Maybe the plain food. Maybe she packed her own lunch.
She just packed like a mayonnaise sandwich.
You think it was like she anxietied herself into being physically ill?
1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's a drama queen. She loves it. When they met, they were so awkward. They
It was
addressed that they were really awkward, but Statler seemed like a creepy old man.
she was so creepy, like, "Oh, love raw chocolate? Is that about sex?" And then, like, asking to check out her ass while they're doing their, like,
Just
interview.
look
I'm
at her butt.
like, why does it have to be like this? You're right, that is, like, creepy old man behavior,
It
and, like, her eyes were so wide, like, she wasn't blinking when Dempsey showed up, like, she didn't blink.
She was so in love. She was just looking at the love of her life for the
And then
past 7 months.
and then and then Dempsey's standing there, like, kind of bent over with all this luggage on her, and Statler's just standing there, like, staring at her, like, help her with her bags and go to the hotel and make out. What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, well, also, Statler was sick, so I get why she wasn't like, "Give me your
Oh,
luggage, babe." Babe's gross.
I
But, yeah, I just, like, their interactions were it was too awkward to even be funny.
I have grown out of getting secondhand embarrassment from the show because I've just been, my brain is just kind of like has calluses and blisters from watching so much garbage. So it just doesn't happen to me anymore. But this got me pretty close.
Wow.
Like, I was so physically uncomfortable, like, watching them meet for the first time. I thought that Statler was going to, like, run away when she was, like, crouching on the ground before she met Dempsey. Like, I was like, "Oh,
But was it
she's."
because she was sick? Like, still feeling ill?
I Okay, first of all, I don't believe she's actually sick. I think she just is that anxious. So, we'll just go from there. I just
Okay.
don't believe that she's actually sick. Just, like, the crouching and the deep breathing and the way her eyes were so, like, big, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna run away." Like,
What
I
do
don't
you
think she's
think she
gonna make it.
did a year ago when she met the other girlfriend?
Probably the same thing, like, the stakes for her are so high, and she needs
Oh,
so much
yeah.
drama in her life.
We were talking about the stakes. She mentioned that the stakes were so high for her, but they're not. She still has her job, she still has her apartment. Like, what like, when I think the stakes are high, I think, "Oh my gosh," I'm blanking on their name, but it's from The Other Way, and it's the old white lady that goes to India.
Oh, Jenny and Sumit?
Jenny, that was the stakes are high.
Yeah,
Like, she took out all of her life savings, got rid of her apartment, and
sold her
moved there.
furniture.
Sold her
She talked
furniture, like,
she talked about
everything.
selling her furniture forever. Yeah, that is high stakes. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing has changed in Statler's life except that she bought a ticket to the UK.
Is she
Like,
and she's
yeah.
taking vacation from her job. Okay, is she in accounting for some company? It
Uh
I don't fully remember, but I remember when I was watching the episode, I was like, "That's the opposite of what someone in with ADHD should be doing."
Well, she said that she's in logistics. She works for a logistics company, but she didn't say, like, what she does for the
Okay.
logistics company.
Okay, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt
Benefit of the doubt about
that
what?
she's not doing finance.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Because, like, speaking as someone who has ADHD, I sorry, I just need to say, I hated watching her, like, "Hey, this is me," because she's not helping herself. Like, there
Oh,
are
with all the
things you can
toys
yeah,
everywhere and
there
just
are
her.
things you can do to combat the issues that arise with it. Like,
Mhm.
right now, I'm looking at my desk, it's perfectly clean because
Yeah.
otherwise, I can't think.
Yeah.
I wanna talk
Yeah.
about what's happening over here to my right.
Your husband's desk.
Yeah.
I've seen photos.
He was supposed to clean it or organize it while I was gone, and it's just, like, piled high in a corner instead of all over the desk.
Wow, what a great job organizing, sir.
Yeah, don't worry. He knows he's a bad boy. Okay, anyway.
Did you think it was weird that Dempsey didn't know the plan for the hotel room? Or do you think they were just like playing
Oh,
around?
you mean when she was like, am I going to stay in the hotel with you?
Yeah, am I
I
going to
think
stay
they're
in the hotel with
around because
Okay.
I believe Statler had mentioned that the plan was stay in Manchester a couple nights and then
Okay.
take a train up to the farm.
Okay. So, I learned what humor is today.
That's great. A door has been open for you.
I'm not a fan of Statler. I know that she has some like a really rough past, but I just don't understand why the stakes are so high for her. And I feel like poor Dempsey is going to be like hit with a truck with like Statler's insecurity. Maybe she's also insecure. I don't know. But
And Dempsey's younger, right? Dempsey's like 22, 23.
no, Dempsey's 28
Oh, she's
and
28. Okay, she's
and
not that much younger.
Statler's 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a inappropriate, probably insensitive question to ask.
Please.
What constitutes sex to Statler? When she was saying, I had sex in an elevator, I had sex here, blah, blah. What
Oh.
constitutes sex to her?
Oh, for the gays. I mean, I think when you don't I mean, like sex for hetero people can have the same, I think, kind of breadth as it does for queer people, but that is a good question. We don't know.
Well, okay. The reason I'm asking is hetero sex in an elevator, I would think it was penetrative sex.
Yeah.
That is involved
Yeah.
versus like fingering. If you finger banging in the elevator, less involved.
I'm guessing that's what she's talking about. You know, somebody was wearing like a skirt or a dress or something,
Yeah,
but yeah,
because
we
I
don't
can grab
know.
Birdie's penis in an elevator. Is that sex? Did I have it done in an elevator? If I shove it down the pants,
Like,
that
okay. Oh,
little
okay.
handy.
I was like over the pants.
OTPHJ over the pants hand job.
Yeah, unclear. I'm guessing she's talking about fingering, but who knows?
Finger bang bang you into my life. Sorry.
That was a throwback South Park reference for the folks that don't know.
Okay. Anything else on Statler and Dempsey? Not that I've
No.
thoroughly embarrassed myself and probably offended people.
I think you're
Sorry,
asking the right things.
five listeners.
Who do you want to talk about next?
Ooh, okay. Let's just do Tyray.
Oh.
Okay. Cam porn star. I didn't know that was a term. But
That it's not a term though. It's like camming. It's not like cam.
it's just like fans
She's
only or
not
whatever.
You mean OnlyFans?
No, it's fans only. If you didn't know this, I'm also dyslexic.
Okay. I just
OnlyFans. It's like a shop with only.
You're doing great. I just feel like this should have been done. Like this storyline could have been wrapped up so long ago. I feel like we've probably already talked about this, but
That's what you've been focusing on. And I am very happy that Tyray is such a mess and we get to watch this more. And he thinks he's going to go to Barbados.
I mean, his mom, who has had a stroke and is like probably not firing on all cylinders when he mentions going to Barbados, is like, for why? Like, for what? Like,
I know. I wrote,
she's
his
so
mom is
fast.
golden.
Yeah.
For what? You're going to spend your last money going to Barbados?
It feels like when we think that he's taken a few steps forward in the sense of like processing what is actually happening, then he just takes us all the way back to square one.
Like the he had finally realized after hiring and talking to the PI that he was being catfished, that sweet Carmela, which I'm intrigued that the catfisher used the what should we call real Carmela's job. But anyway, okay. I was gonna say sex worker. Is she a sex worker?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd call it
So
that.
I'm surprised that the catfisher used this actual sex worker's real name.
Yeah.
Like, he could have used any name.
Yeah, I'm also very intrigued if we're going to actually if maybe they're dragging this out because we're actually going to see her or, like, meet her because they're, like, building this up. Like, have you noticed that, like, obviously the very explicit, like, videos and stuff like that are
They're
blurred
not blur
out,
Oh, the
but some
explicit videos.
yeah, the explicit ones are blurred, but there's some photos where her face is not blurred, so she had to have given consent.
None of Most of the pictures, her face isn't blurred.
That's what I mean.
Oh. Oh, I hope so. But she's not responding to his texts or emails or calls like the real sweet Carmela.
I think it's so funny that so they go and they meet. Lashanti is stewarding Tyray's ass through all of this, and they both go to see this private investigator. And the private investigator is like, "Okay, so I researched like the phone numbers and the email and other items that you gave me." And by other items, I think he means ass pictures. So then
Reverse
he called them.
image search dad ass.
He called them items. He tells Tyray that she's using drop phones or burner phones. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, duh. Yeah, and then we find out that she's a cam girl. Like, yay, good for her, duh. And then she has numerous Twitter accounts, PayPal accounts. Tyray's like, she's a fetish queen.
Oh my god.
This isn't the Carmela I know.
Yeah. Also, one day I'd like to be described as a fetish queen.
Also, Tyray, you do not know this person. You don't know her.
No.
So how would a fetish queen be the person that you do know?
Well, while they were talking with the PI, or at least in his ITMs, he was like, "Maybe they're not the same person." It's like, "Maybe?" I'm so glad that weeks later you have figured out what we all knew at the very beginning.
He's getting there. It's like in fits and spurts, but it's pretty
So
it's pretty
he's
rough to watch.
It's obviously and great. So now he's realizing that they're not the same people.
Yeah.
But he's still holding on to this, like, idea that it's not a man. Like, when he tells his other sister and his mom, he tells them that he wants to go to Barbados and try to find this person that's on the
Mhm.
other end of this Snapchat, and he says something like, he wants to know if his instincts are right. No, they're not
No.
right. They're not right. We know that from the start. Just
Yeah.
save yourself some time and heartache. Like,
I
it's just gonna, like, reconfirm that you shouldn't listen to yourself anymore.
I know. He's like really torturing himself in this sense. Like I'm just so I would really love to hear what an actual psychologist has to say about this because it's like his brain is I mean, he has like a pretty traumatic past and so his brain is just like running every other scenario rather than accept
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
reality. I'm just so curious what that like mechanism is or what that like protective mechanism is because I don't understand it and I don't feel like it's doing him really any good. This man needs help.
But I'm here
I
to watch him.
why does his family need to know? Like why does his mom need to know that
He's
he's
spending
been
all of his
catfished?
money going to Barbados.
Like
I
why is
mean,
it important?
I've I've said before that I'm really good at lying by omission, so I
Mhm.
don't really understand, but he explained it like he didn't wanna keep secrets from his family. But again, just don't bring it up.
Yeah.
He had essentially lied to them before when he went to Barbados. So
Yeah, just I love vacationing in Barbados. Well, don't go to Barbados, Tyray, if you're listening, if you're not already
or
there.
go
So devious.
and bring the cameras. Maybe he'll find a Barbados fetish queen there.
We can only hope. This poor man. He needs, I mean, maybe if he did. Wait, we learned he's a virgin, right?
Did
He's
we?
a virgin, right? I feel like maybe earlier in the season, yeah, he talks about being a virgin.
I don't
Maybe if he
remember
got
that.
laid, maybe if he got laid, it would kind of snap him out of this. I also couldn't help thinking, like, the way that he was like, Carmela's the only person that's ever told me she loved me. She's the only person that's ever talked to me like that. I was just like, men need more intimacy and belonging in their lives. This is like awful.
Yeah. And it's just sad that he's like, we connected on so many ways. And it's like, because this person was scamming you. They were saying what they knew you wanted to hear. So sorry, your instincts were
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Now you know. Let's move on.
Poor guy needs to get out of the house more. It's
true.
rough.
That's true. Should we do? I have a lot of notes on everyone else, so you just pick who's next.
I think I have the most notes on. Okay, let's do Meisha and Nicola.
Okay.
Because not a ton actually happened.
Okay, so during the coming up when they showed her changing in the car, I was like, well, if they're going to a wedding and she is underdressed, like fine, she can. But then they just went sightseeing.
It was so
She's a
odd.
kook. Yeah.
It was so odd. And like, why is like seeing someone in seeing someone in a wedding dress trigger? I need to change for you. No, that person is getting married that day.
Yeah, and the other person in a dress was in her bridal party. Like, you're not going to the wedding, you're going to a lookout.
And the fact that she had a backup dress at all was so weird. Lady.
I think about baby things occasionally these days. And
Yeah.
I was just thinking, you brought a change of clothes like you were going to shit yourself.
Maybe she doesn't trust herself eating all that hummus every day or something. Yeah, truly.
The dress was hot though. So
she looks good in pretty much everything. Haifa looks dope. Why didn't we go there? Why didn't we spend more time at the beach when we went to Israel?
I don't know. I mean, I really liked the trip.
It was great. It was great. I'm not saying it wasn't, but I feel like we should have done.
Was it not hot enough?
It was like 90 degrees every day.
I don't remember that. I remember. I don't remember anything anymore. I remember it was an awesome trip.
It was. I'm not trying to like.
I don't know where Haifa is. Oh, but it's important. I know why we didn't go to Haifa. It's a very important place for Catholics.
Oh, not Jews. Got it. Okay. Yeah. We were being like led around by our friend who had recently converted to Orthodox Judaism. So that's why. Okay.
We've cracked the code.
That makes sense. We figured it out. It looked really dope. I am so confused why he isn't showing off the fact that Meisha is his girlfriend to like everybody he encounters, because they're like, they have this tension about showing it started in the last episode, but this tension about
him not telling his family.
Yeah. And like, why doesn't he have like a picture of her around his neck and he's like showing people at the grocery store?
Why is he not doing that?
Yeah. Because he looks like how he looks and she looks the way that she looks.
Well said. Yes, I agree. But he did text his brother, which is a
After she,
huge step after, yeah,
I
she had a
guess.
temper tantrum. And okay. So that conversation with them where he was like, I'm taking things slowly. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why you're 46 and have never put your
Put it
penis in
in.
something fun.
He also, so he's like, he's saying a couple different things though. He's saying that he's taking it slowly, but at the
Oh, you're
same
right.
time, he is completely locked into a future with Misha. Because when they talk about it, she's telling him, like, these 2 weeks are when we figure out how we're going to communicate in the future and whether or not we're going to do this.
Mhm.
And then these seem like brand new stakes to him. Like, it sounds like he was unaware that he needed to do anything different or that there was any kind of hesitation on Misha's end.
Yeah, and I think that that goes to show that he has never been in a relationship before.
Yeah. He did this thing after she was like talking about how they needed to improve their communication and da 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 da. And he did this thing that men do where they conflate improving their listening skills, their communication skills, and their like relational skills with changing who they are. And I was just like, oh, that is like a huge red flag. And he's doing it, and he thinks that if improving his communication with her is
Changes
changing
his
who he is.
personality. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, who he is fundamentally. Also, your personality kind of sucks, Nicola, so
Mhm.
maybe it's
Oh
like for
my
the
god.
best.
Okay, so after that conversation, then they go to downtown Haifa, and he refers to it as his hell, which,
I missed
oh my,
that.
he's so embarrassing. I don't know. He's like a like an embarrassing uncle that you're just like, "Ooh, why did I bring you here?"
Totally.
And he's like 30 minutes at this restaurant. And then they start talking about sin. Or no, they don't even start talking about sin. It's just like they start talking about like how like he doesn't like how he doesn't like dancing and
Mhm.
nightclubs and whatever else. And he uses these terms that were just like so cringy to me. Like,
Yeah.
this is not us. And
Mhm.
that's not right. It's not okay. It's like, it's
Yeah.
okay to dance.
I know. He's just like him talking about it gave me some context for why some politicians are the way they are. It like, and Misha broke it down better than he did because she's like, dancing in itself is not a sin, but what you're conflating it with is that it could lead to
Exactly.
temptation, and that is sinful. But like, you can't just throw out this entire way of socializing or like being in public with other people because it might possibly lead to sin. And like,
I know that's where like restraint and like if you're a devout Catholic, you're like, okay, and this is the boundary and I'm not going to cross it.
he actually, now that you're kind of we're talking about this, he really reminds me of my uh grandmother, rest in peace, who was also a very devout Catholic, and just like, yeah, she just lived like a very, very, I want like basically monastic. Like, she had like bare bones, like everything was very sparse in their house. Like, the only decorations are really like rosaries and crosses. And yeah, she was just like very like, she would, if we were like walking, like I traveled with her a couple times. If we were walking to something, she would drag her feet, like be so grumpy about it all the time. And then somehow she got this spring in her step whenever we were like walking home. Like, she would be like front of the pack whenever it was time to like leave a restaurant or anything that wasn't a Catholic church, basically.
It's like the opposite of a puppy.
Yeah. And yeah, Nicola kind of reminds me of that. So when we see Nicola and Misha going to this bar in Haifa, they had recently in the episode they cut from Cleo and Christian, which we'll talk about, and I couldn't help thinking like, wow, like Meisha and Christian should hang out because they're the same
Yeah.
flavor of extroversion, and like maybe Nicola and Cleo could hang out because they're the
I
same
would not wish that on
ish
Cleo.
flavor of introverted. But yeah, I would not wish these men on either of these women. So they just need to find someone
Yeah.
with their more.
Imagine. So the producers did an awesome job where he's like, 5 minutes, that's it. I'm only going in the club for 5 minutes. And then they cut to him like dancing and having a good time in the club.
Yeah.
What would you imagine you're seeing them in the club? What are you thinking?
This is maybe like her. This
Like
is
he
maybe
hired
like
her?
a relative with a disability, maybe that she's like taking out, like someone who just like doesn't get out much and needs help, or that he's paid for her time.
I also would really question their age.
I know they're like, I forget how old they are, but I mean, he doesn't drink water and probably has never used sunscreen in his life in the Mediterranean.
That's not what we do. Not okay. Where in the Bible does it say
you have to use sunscreen? Yeah. I mean, I feel like it does talk about drinking wine a lot, and he's all like anti having a good time with booze.
No, he says it's fine to like drink a beer, but like, why would like? And I think, like you said, Meisha broke it down really well. It's the temptation.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just weak. You know?
Yeah.
I'd say that to his face. Ask him why he limits himself on all these things. He is such a devout Catholic. When his faith allow him to go to clubs and go party and go to these places and still maintain. Anyway.
Yeah. I also
never gonna meet
really
him
question I also really question whether Catholics really don't smoke or party.
Oh my gosh.
Because like I've been to Italy. I've also been to the Philippines, which is a very Catholic nation, and like people are smoking, people are drinking, and people are having a good. Make sure that I said that out loud and made him sound stupid.
Yeah, super stupid.
Yeah.
I want to jump to Riley and Violet.
Yeah, I do. Why does she keep taking him to war memorials and war museums?
And also, okay, I was like, were those just the planes that they had like captured? Because they were all US planes.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And he's standing in front of it taking a picture. It's like, wait, this is a casualty of sorts.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway.
At least he's like interested this time, because I went to the Independence Palace and all he wanted to talk about was how she was lying to him and how much his knee hurt. So this time he seems like more engaged. It also sounds like she's been to this museum more than once. She was like, I get so sad when I come here. And I'm like, why are you going to all these war memorials all the time, Violet?
I don't know. Maybe it's like what you do. Maybe. You know, both of them seemed like it wasn't like you got a ticket and like went in. So maybe it was just like a walk in the park. But I guess
maybe
if it makes you sad, then don't go back.
Yeah. Interesting choice, Violet. Interesting choice.
I like how she confronted him about how his behavior was rude in her culture.
But it's also rude in any culture to not show up with something for mom.
Yes. Yes. But it's also, why didn't she tell him to? She showed up there. What I thought was weird was that he had multiple gifts for the daughters. And I get why he brought the daughters gifts, because he had a relationship with them, like, texted with them and FaceTimed with them. But don't make it a big production to give him these gifts in front of two people that you didn't bring gifts for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think her mom was right that he's not thoughtful and he is jealous and he will try to control her.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she was upfront with him about that. And what I didn't, and he does it again later on in the episode, but like he immediately takes the opportunity of her being good at communication and expressing her feelings, and then
hmm
flips it and is like, when are you going to learn my culture?
It was so gross. And he's immediately defensive when she starts talking to him about his behavior. She
Mhm.
has to literally tell him,
Yeah.
I need to finish talking. Like, he's just so repulsive. He makes a good point about calling him ugly in public when he's he's only ever seen one other black person since he's been there.
Mhm.
He's been there a couple days. He makes a good point, but yeah, the timing is not great because he's like using this time when she's trying to get
Give him
him
constructive criticism.
right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he doesn't I don't think he apologized for not having stuff for his mom, but she immediately and he just is immediately defensive when she brings up that constructive criticism.
Mhm.
When he brings up constructive criticism in this point for her, she's immediately compassionate and apologizes.
Exactly, and she
And
hears him.
she actually heard him. Like, I don't think that he's ever going to get to the point of vulnerability or humility where he's going to take constructive criticism well.
Yeah.
He's such a baby.
I would not, when he first started talking about like, when are you gonna start learning my culture with the
Mhm.
ugly thing?
Yeah.
I was just thinking he was saying like, oh, in public, or like that's not how we joke. But then
Mhm.
like he brought that, the dark skin black person and like being equated with ugly. Like I was like,
Mhm.
oh shit, I didn't even think about that at all. And I have the
Yeah.
luxury of not thinking about that.
Uh-huh.
And like you just said, like it was the wrong time. Like it was a manipulative time for him to bring it up in the
Yeah.
conversation. But she hears him, and I'm glad I know that that was what was going through his head.
Yeah. I think that is when he says also when he says about my culture, I like assumed it was like American
Me
culture. I'm
too.
like, "Sir, you are in Vietnam." Like, I don't
Yeah.
she can learn about it she can learn about the US when she gets there.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, he was talking more about the nature of being like the whole
Yeah,
like
his
the world is
experience as a black
yeah,
man. Mhm.
the world is anti-black, and so
So
they
then
decide to go to dinner, and she asks him if she can wear a sexy dress.
yeah, they were pretty cute at the beginning of the dinner.
At the beginning, yeah. Oh, did you notice that she's wearing those shitty pearls that
Oh, was
he
she?
brought her?
Ooh,
Yeah.
good. Way to notice
The
that.
the necklace and the bracelet.
Wow.
I
Oh,
think
she
she
fit
had
the elastic went over her wrist all right?
good for her. Why does he have a white suit?
I liked it.
You like the white suit?
I mean, yeah, I think white suits are cool. They remind me of the
Okay.
Backstreet Boys. But he did have his button all the buttons of his shirt buttoned, and he looked like a dweeb.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, it's hot out. Why would you do that?
she was wearing like a long, yeah. I don't understand people and humidity and hot. I don't understand hot in general.
Yeah.
So they were having a nice dinner, they were being cute, and then, yeah, there was, like, an awkward situation where he brings up her texting his dad, but whatever, I'm over talking about that.
Yeah.
Then he wants to bring Tiffany, his, like, quote, unquote, "big sister" into that was like, they're supposed to be having a nice romantic dinner together. Like, just because
She like
Tiffany wants to, quote, "meet" her.
yeah. Why is this the time?
Yeah.
And she like when she shut down the conversation about her texting his
Yeah.
dad, that could have also extended to this situation in which Riley is just trying to get Tiffany to ask questions to, let's be clear, badger Violet about questions he's
100%.
already
They
asked
were definitely attacking her.
for him. He is such a coward. And then he's like,
Playing games.
yeah, playing games and like, why are you looking at me? You need to. Tiffany's asking you a question. It's like, how dumb do you think Violet is? That
Yeah.
is insulting to her intelligence that you think she can't see through this little charade. It's so freaking
Yeah.
frustrating to watch.
He's just such an ass. Like that. Ugh. Yeah. And then like Tiffany, back off.
I get where Tiffany has, like, she has Riley's interests at heart, but doesn't she also know Riley? Doesn't she know that he is like a super sensitive, like, asshole that falls in love too easily?
But so is she apparently because, well, okay, I don't know fully, but she's the person that he calls when he wants someone to like confirm or like validate his feelings because they're like-minded. Like he thought it was totally fine to badger her like that, for Tiffany to badger Violet like that, and no.
It's not.
I feel like if you ask anyone else, they're like, "What are you doing, man?"
Just like, why does he think he should treat his partner this way? Like,
He just keeps like throwing tests at her.
if you really don't trust a person this much and she's making you this insecure, like, and for the record, I think anybody would make him this insecure because he's just
Mhm.
insecure. Like, why be with this person? It's so bizarre to me.
Yeah.
He's just acting out all of his insecurities on this woman who is like trying to raise kids and, like, I don't know, like, have her own fucking life. Like, why did you fly all this way to badger her? It's so weird.
Okay. Done with them.
Yeah.
Should we do Cleo and Christian?
Yes, please. Oh my god.
There's a lot.
I
You go first.
can't. I don't know if I could hate this man more. This is just like seriously like the season of terrible trash men. I mean, a lot of them are, but these are just some like prime subjects. No smooch, no snuggle in the morning. Apparently, he was like rolling around, kind of spooning her during the night, but they're so awkward in bed. And then he gets so uncomfortable when she puts her estrogen gel on. I appreciated her explaining that this estrogen gel is less invasive and
Less processed, goes straight
yeah,
to your
less,
blood.
less damaging because estrogen pills or injections that people take are processed through the liver, and so it's more, can be more damaging over time. But he like like she can see right through that question
He
he's asking.
he said so strange.
Yes.
That is so rude, so insensitive, the wrong word to say. Because I was like, "Oh, interesting, a gel." Like, "Oh, British
Yeah.
people have got it going on." Like, tell me
And
more.
like, yeah, totally. And then like, what did you think? Like, he just didn't think about her transness. I mean, obviously, we could tell from the
Yeah.
previous episodes, but like, she saw through his question about how fast it dries. Like, immediately, she was like, "Don't worry, you can touch me. You're not going to turn into a trans woman, you fucking
Yeah.
idiot." I was like, "Oh my god, I just can't believe how uncomfortable he got immediately. Like, he is not ready for this at all. She
Yeah.
needs to dump his ass and find someone that, I don't know, isn't such a baby."
Well, so I thought that her transness was gonna be the issue for them, and it definitely is an issue, but the majority of this episode, it was her autism and him just flat out ignoring it.
beyond her being autistic, he's just like he's not being considerate of what she would like to do or what she's comfortable with. He's just like what he's just like what did you have he could have asked in the morning like what did you want to do for the day or like what do you want to show me like
True.
what do you think what's important to you in London, I want to see it. He's just like yeah, let's just walk around. Just
Yeah.
typical man. He did no research at all.
Yeah. Which, like, I'll forgive him for that because Cleo does live there, but,
Hmm.
like, you've gotta have some sort of goals and plans. Like, I wanna see Big Ben. I wanna see the London like, you you don't have to do it all in a specific order or all in one day, but, like, hey, what are you interested in? We're not just gonna, like,
Yeah.
walk around and just that triggers her anxiety, not having a plan.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
he had to have known that, and
Yeah.
he kept acting just honestly just ignoring it, and was how I
Yeah.
was seeing it, and at times,
Hmm.
it felt like he was trying to, like, cure her autism in ways,
With
which is,
booze.
like, fucking offensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
with booze or with, like, "Oh, just, like, come, let's meet these people," or, like, no, man.
I
Like,
really didn't
she
like.
copes so well. I've been
Yeah.
so impressed with her, and don't, don't, Christian.
I know.
Don't.
She was trying to be, I think, such a good host and not
100%.
imposing her needs on him on day one. But I think I hope that she pushes back on him being so chaotic over time. Like I may or may not be autistic.
We all are in a way.
Jury's out on that, but that he if someone was visiting me and they behaved like this, I would be very, very anxious. And I would probably put together an itinerary of my own as like a backup.
Mhm.
But yeah, pressuring her to get drunk because she isn't extroverted, that is not the salve, sir. And he really tells us who he is when he's just like bragging to her maybe or just like recounting his behavior on the
I
plane.
know, that was
And
way more embarrassing than I thought it was gonna be.
he saw no issue with being like 6 or 7 drinks deep on a plane while other people are sleeping and the lights are off. 2, like, I don't know, sidling up to some strangers that are way younger than you.
Yes, super creepy.
You're super creepy. And then 3, like, he didn't seem to, like, have any kind of moral reaction to the fact that the steward was like, "Oh, I've heard about you. You're not getting more drinks." That should trigger some kind of self-reflection for you, sir.
It
Like
should, but it wouldn't, especially if you're drunk. I'm glad that he didn't get mad,
Yeah, that would
but
have been a different issue.
it was okay. Okay, with him explaining that to Cleo, and then Cleo was like, "Well, I wouldn't like that if I was on the plane." He's like, "You wouldn't I wouldn't do it if you were on the plane." And she goes, "Well, you do it behind my back." And he's like,
Mhm.
"No, I wouldn't do it behind your back." He's like, "But you did." Like, how are you not getting that? Like, so you just need to have attention in
Yeah.
general, but then it's clearly not that because Cleo's paying attention to him at the bar, but then he immediately turns around and starts talking to these other people.
I
Like,
think because he made or she made him feel uncomfortable because she called out his behavior and he didn't like it. So he was like, "Oh, I'm going to try and get attention somewhere else because she's not giving me the attention and affirmation
oh,
that I want."
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 things I wanna say about this.
Mhm.
So, I have, drunk so much on a plane that I woke up hungover. They do not cut you off unless you're an asshole. And just in general, like, I also wanna state that he drinks a lot, and that's a lot coming from me. Like, I like to drink. I did. I quit right now.
The way he was sucking down drinks
Oh my
in
god,
front of
that it
her.
was so immature. Like, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
like, focus on this I think the drink had, like, a funny name, like, Bald Charles or something.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, "No, man, like, you're trying to get to know this girl. Like, you're not in
Doesn't
college,
get
like,
it.
giving yourself some liquid courage to I don't know." Yeah, and then sorry, like, so with the talking to other people, like, that's a fun thing to do when you're out with girlfriends maybe, and you like, you're not, like, catching up, like, you see each other and you're like, "Okay, let's bring someone else into this, and, like,
Yeah.
it'll be a funny story or whatever."
Uh-huh.
But when you're, like, trying to have quality time with someone, and then there's a person that constantly is just talking to other people, it's so rude and so annoying, and it just
It's their first date.
it's
This is
you're right,
effectively
it's
their
their
first
first
date.
date. It's their first date. It's so rude. It shows that she's not a priority and that
Yeah.
he's, I guess, not ready for a relationship.
He says something about how his exes didn't seem to mind that he was, needed all this attention and talked to other people. And it's like, well, Cleo's not like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
adapt. You are so childish. He's he just like turned 21 and could buy alcohol whenever he wanted and just like never grew up after that. Like he's like the sucking down the cocktail when this person who is clearly not drunk, not interested in being drunk, is like staring at you like you're being weird. He like thinks that's fine behavior. Like he's just acting like a 21-year-old.
I'm trying to
It's
think
so odd.
when I think that that behavior would be appropriate, and I'm gonna paint you a picture and see if you agree with it.
Okay.
Okay, maybe it was, like, a long travel day, and it's, like, really hot outside or something, and, like, we had been looking forward to this drink for, the whole time we were traveling. And you're like, "You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna suck down these cocktails and then immediately get another one."
Listen, I'm not trying to say that I'm above sucking down a cocktail, but yeah, it would not be on my
First
first
date,
date
yeah.
with someone who is clearly not that into alcohol.
Yeah.
I remember I went on when I was still like online dating. I went on a date with this guy and I was in a phase where I wasn't drinking
Sorry, I have
at
to
the
ask
time.
you, have you deleted the app? Sorry, go ahead.
I was on a date and I wasn't drinking at the time. And so this guy insisted on going to a like Belgian beer bar, and Belgian beers are like pretty high ABV. And I let him know like, yeah, but I won't, I'm not drinking right now. And he was like, oh, that's fine, it'll still be fine. And then he proceeds to like keep ordering Belgian beers while I am drinking peppermint tea. And you and I we're both well-traveled worldly women.
Mhm.
And so he had been like in the Peace Corps or something. Like he'd also done a lot of traveling. And so he was talking about different places he'd been. And I would be like, oh yeah, I went there too. That was cool. Da da da. And he seemed to get like the drunker he got, the more like combative he got about me having been to like different places that he'd been. It was like this competition.
Wait, like, wait, yeah, like, like, that's all his personality was, and he kinda,
Yeah.
like, treasured that this made him interesting, and no one
Yeah.
else had been to these places, which it's like,
Yeah.
no, that's
So weird. Yeah.
not a
So
thing. I mean,
yeah.
travel
So
is my
then
personality as well, but you gotta get excited when someone else has been to the same place you have.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, just I guess, since I'd been to that place, that meant he didn't have anything on me. He had no personality anymore.
Or, like,
Uh,
he wanted to be, like, better than you in a sense.
Yeah, and it's just so unsexy, so unappealing. I dipped out like after he had his like second or third drink. I was just like, okay, bye. Because just read, just like read the room.
Yeah.
If someone isn't
Yeah, I
drinking, maybe
think
don't like
it's an insecurity for him, like, the
sure.
travel thing, and then he's like you typically will go, like, 1 for 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
And if someone's not
chill
drinking,
out.
yeah, don't suck down a Belgian beer. Maybe just like have a glass of water between your drinks or whatever. It was
Mhm.
so bizarre. And I really empathize with Cleo trying to connect with this asshole while he's just doing the most.
Yeah, she was really trying, like, she went along with his no plan day, but she's awesome. She knows her boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
She said something like, "It's not about her not being outgoing, it's about her being autistic." And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, Christian, I just wanna shake him and be like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
And someone can be like you being shy and being introverted are not the same.
Mhm.
You
True.
can be shy with strangers and be very like extroverted and animated with people that you know. You can be introverted and not like to spend time with people, but like meet new people just fine.
True.
Like these are not mutually exclusive. So, or is that the
As
wrong way to use mutually exclusive?
Yeah, I
These are
believe it
not
is.
they're not the same. And so yeah, I really hate that he keeps calling her shy. It just shows a fundamental like disinterest in what she's
Lack
experiencing
of
and also
emotional intelligence.
lack
Excuse me.
of well a lot of intelligences,
True.
but yeah, that one as well.
I also made a note that he fits right in to London with his red beard.
And just like being super drunk and chatty in a bar.
Yeah, but I'll give British people more credit than that.
Okay. All
Ugh.
right, anything else on them?
No, just I can't believe I like our cats.
They're so cute.
They're
They're
good-looking
really cute.
cats, yeah.
They're really cute. All right, Gino and Jasmine.
Everyone's favorite. I need to start by saying I've been to the Panama Canal.
Sooner.
I know, and he's an engineer. Like, that's freaking ridiculous. Her going
Her explaining
this
the
is like,
locks.
"Your country and my country, we
Oh,
always had love history." It's like, that's maybe you should read up on it.
yeah. It kind of felt like Violet taking Riley to see this monument to Vietnamese victory over the US. Like her taking him to see the Panama Canal. I don't know a ton about the history, but yeah, obviously it's combative and not 100% like
Oh, I can tell you a
mutual,
quick
mutually cooperative. Yeah, do the synopsis, quick synopsis.
Okay, so basically in the late 1800s, I think it was France, they were gonna make a canal. They wanted to combine, or sorry, make a connection between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and they were going back and forth on where to do it, and a bunch of money was lost in, okay, whatever. No one cares about that. But so then the beginning of the 1900s, basically the French failed. Then the beginning of the 1900s, I believe it was TR was like, okay, we'll do it. And then they brought in all these engineers and they spent, I can't remember if I told you this or not, but
By TR, you mean Teddy Roosevelt?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
they spent 2 years eradicating mosquitoes in the area because workers, when the French were doing it, were dying of yellow fever and malaria.
Dang.
Um, I could have some of these details wrong, but it's the general gist. But what I want to say is, so when they finally decided on the location of where they were going to build the canal, Panama, as it is today, or Panama that we know today, was part of Colombia, and Colombia
Oh.
didn't want to make a deal to have this canal built. So the US was basically like, hey, Panama, you want to be your independent?
Oh God. Of course.
So then Panama as a country was formed. I think you said in the last episode that it's essentially a US colony. It kind of is. They use the
Yep.
US dollar and all that.
Yep.
They have their own history and problems and all of that. But the canal was built from US engineers, and it's actually very, very impressive.
Yeah.
They were like, the French were trying to work against the river, and the US dammed the river, I believe, where basically it's powered by the water of this river.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sound pretty cool.
And there's some big old boats that go through there, and it takes a very long time.
I feel like you can kind of tell the scale of the canal from the show, but it's got it. I mean, like oil tankers and stuff are so huge. Like I see them docked out in Elliott Bay in Seattle, and yeah, I've
They
taken like a boat tour up by them, and they are like just so big.
Yeah.
Like they're
The
unfathomable.
Miraflores, where they are, that's like the main lock that they have tourists go to, and locks are where they like shut off one part of the canal, and then they like fill up where the boat is, so then the boat rises and then it can move into the next part of the canal
Mm.
because the sea level is changing. But when I was there, and I think it was a similar kind of ship, but there was a 16-story car ship, like auto contain 16
Whoa.
stories like that, and that is a building. Yeah,
Whoa. That's
it's very
bananas.
cool, and they've done an expansion so they can do even bigger. But anyway, why they hadn't gone there previously when he's an engineer was just like
Yeah. Beyond me. He's also like, and then he's ignoring her. And so, and she's like trying to be sweet. He's like, "Are you proud? Like, are you proud to be an American?" Like looking at this engineering feat. And then he's like not really listening to her. And then she's like, "I think we need to work on communication," which is like kind of annoying to bring up in that moment. But then he's just like making fun of her and making fun of the way that she's talking. And I just really,
no, he's gross.
like, people make fun of the way that women talk and women's voices so much all over, in all kinds of media and everything, and yeah, he's just such a
Such a
jerk.
jerk. Cool shirt, bro.
Wait, what was the shirt?
They're just
I
like
forget.
weird, like I think it was like pink or something with like weird little like it was like a short sleeve button down with just like
Yeah.
little images all over, and they were like just kind of silly images, and it'd be like super hot on like Brody, but on Gino,
It just doesn't fit. He
no.
needs like he's like a nice fitted like white polo, he needs to not try and do anything remotely stylish or fun
Yeah.
because it's
Um
just incongruous.
True, and homeboy can't open a granola bar.
That was wild. And she's like, "Let me with my 5-inch talons. I could probably do it better."
It's just I could just imagine you screaming at the TV going like, "Man, baby."
He tells Jasmine when she's asking him about, like their issues, talking about their issues, and he said he and his ex-wife didn't have any issues.
So rude. Any communication issues, I think, in particular. And so he was
So
basically
then
saying,
why are
like,
they divorced?
I don't know, but he was basically saying, "You're the common denominator on the communication issues."
It's so
Yeah,
dumb.
it was rude. Um,
And like, does that mean that you don't have to try in this relationship? Like, just because there was good communication in the last relationship, kind of like Christian and Cleo, it's like just because your last relationship was a certain way,
yeah,
and now there's issues in this relationship, that doesn't mean you can keep being the same way. That makes no
yeah,
freaking sense.
the comparisons between no bueno.
They've been together 2 years. I thought it was longer.
It was like 2 years and 3 months, and they've only had sex 7 times or whatever. It's not that long.
It's really not that like, I
Time
feel like
invested,
2 years
not
2
that
years is
not that much.
still almost like honeymoon stage.
Yeah. Especially because 'cause they're not, like, living together and, like,
I
sharing
know.
bills and yeah.
It just the way that they talk to each other and, like, the issues that they have, it's like it feels like they should have been together longer. Like, yeah, him saying that really hit me. It really affected me.
Yeah. So then they start talking about how Dane is her ex, and how, like, basically he's saying that it's hypocritical that Jasmine thinks it's okay that she can talk to
Mhm.
her ex, but Gino can't talk to his. Jasmine's like, well, then don't share nude pictures of me with them.
She makes a good point.
Yeah. So Gino
Some
should have
things are
backed
not
down right after that.
I know. He still probably doesn't think he did anything wrong because when that whole blow up happened, he was like, they were topless photos. It's not nude. It's topless, not nude, not nude, not nude. Like he is such an ass. He is deluded to the point that he still probably doesn't think he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But I side with Jasmine here. She's a
I
queen. She's the
always side
yeah,
with Jasmine. Yeah.
she's the queen of before the 90 days at this
Yes.
point.
Then he starts asking like a bunch of questions like, do you see him? Do you see him alone? And then at one point asks like, do you think about having sex with him? Did he ask that question, like, or did she just start talking about it?
She's saying too much. She should have been
Oh my
like,
god, that was so it was so funny. That's like something you would like tell your therapist. Like you're just thinking out loud,
right?
like, well, do I do this? And like, I mean, if I was gonna be honest, like, I mean,
Yeah.
of course I think like you're no, you don't need to say this to Gino,
He's
but
like
you do
really
love drama, so
yeah, the sun went down like it was so dark when they're still talking. He's like grilling this woman until nightfall
yeah.
and she's being way too honest with his dumbass
They
questions.
were probably hungry because they shared that granola bar. Yeah, but he's a piece of shit.
He is really.
Yeah.
Um, if I like that she says, if our sex life was better, I would fantasize about their sex life.
That's how you know you're, like, really into someone.
Yeah, right?
But at the same
But
time, like, you can, like, fantasize or, like, have dreams of like, that's not always that's not up to you.
right, yeah,
I
you're
had
what how you daydream or, like, what happens in your dreams when you're unconscious.
I typically have sex dreams about Brody, super embarrassing, but sex dream about The Rock.
Oh, hell yeah, what happened?
Like, so vivid that when I woke up, I, like, felt bad.
What was he wearing? Did he have
But
chains on?
no, we were on, like, a Bachelor in Paradise sort of thing, and we were, like, the it couple.
Oh my god. Oh my
And it was like I had gone on a date with The Rock because Brody wasn't doing me enough. Oh my god, I'm just like Jasmine.
god. Yeah, you The Rock is your Dane. Oh my god.
Oh,
That's
man.
was he gigantic in your
Yeah.
dream?
Yeah, he was bigger than me in my
Okay.
dream. Bigger than
Yeah.
Brody.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a very, very, very large person.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm gonna continue to laugh about that for the next, like, couple of months.
And I have to tell you, I don't think that The Rock is hot. Like, I love The Rock. Anyway, so sorry. That's all to say that what you fantasize about, what you dream about, has nothing to do with reality. So chill out, Gino.
Oh yeah, we were doing a podcast
Yeah.
about 90 Day Fiance.
Two other things I wanted to say about them. So she says something really sad that he's unlocked new levels of insecurities in her.
I think that's the most honest she's been about with
Yeah.
him about what's going on.
Yeah. Poor Jasmine. Now, the next thing is he keeps saying that they fight so much, so he doesn't want to do her or he doesn't feel sexual.
Yeah.
I might be doing it wrong, but oftentimes fights lead to doing it.
Totally. Yeah.
What's wrong with
I
him?
so many things, Piff.
Okay. Okay, so I'm still doing it right. Like I should have tongues in my mouth when I get kissed. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're doing
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I wouldn't take like dating or relationship advice from Gino. Jesus.
Not that I'm taking advice for him, but just like, wait, is this a weird thing?
Just don't take any cues from him
Or
at
90 Day
all.
Fiance in general.
Yeah, no.
Anything else with them?
No, I don't think so. I'm
No.
going to put timestamps for your sex dream with The Rock, though. That's
What
hilarious.
is that?
So if people want to zoom right to it, they can do so.
Oh man, can you at The Rock? Anyway.
For sure.
Okay. Fuck Mary Kill.
Okay, so I was thinking I thought of two potential people for Fuck Mary Kill, the private investigator, and then like the one of the girls at the bar that Christian is bothering. But I couldn't think of like a third auxiliary character or like
Okay, you
inanimate
said
object.
the girls at the bar, the PI. Oh, I can do this. Oh, the how about the bride?
The bride. Okay. We didn't get a ton of airtime with her, but I mean, she looked pretty nice. She had a
Yeah,
nice
she
dress
did.
on.
She did. Okay, so fuck Mary Kill. The bride, the PI, and then sorry, what was the third one?
Why don't we just do like that whole group of girls at the
Oh, that
bar?
girls.
You know,
Okay.
like the whole group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna marry the PI because he has his own business and he knows how to use a computer at his advantage. I'm going to fuck all the girls at the bar because more,
Correct.
and then I'll kill the bride.
Wow. On her wedding day. You know what? I'm going to be a turd and be contrary, and I'm going to marry the bride because she's already in a wedding dress.
In a wedding dress.
I think also, yeah, correct. I'm going to fuck that group of girls at the bar because they seem fun. They're
Yeah.
out, they're having a good time. It'll get them away from Christian.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And then, sorry, going to kill the PI, not my type.
Mhm.
Um, it is nice that he can use a computer and he
Yeah.
could possibly like look anybody up for you, but
But you
I'm
have
yeah, sure.
I had a fuck Mary kill I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
Their
please.
locations. Okay. So
Okay.
fuck Mary kill the Panama Canal,
Okay.
the view in Hoffa that,
Mm,
Meisha had to change for,
yes.
and the War Museum.
Oh. Okay. The Panama Canal, the view in Haifa, and the War Museum in Vietnam. I think I'm going to fuck the view in Haifa because it's good looking, but I don't know if I could hang out in Israel long term.
True. True.
I'm going to kill the War Museum. I'm just not like a war museum type of gal.
Yeah. It's already
Probably
sad.
yeah, it's pretty sad. So then I guess I'm marrying the
Panama Canal.
Panama
That's
Canal.
exactly what I would do too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty into that thing these days.
Yeah. The canal, yeah, I mean, I guess it technically like has a job and is
Oh,
doing it well
yeah.
and has been for a long time.
Mhm.
Dependable. Yeah.
Yeah.
has expanded over time. You know, it's working on itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was a
Self-sufficient.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. Well, that was a good episode. Of before the 90 days. I enjoyed
Yes.
it. I meant I wasn't about to give ourselves a compliment.
We can, you know. All right. Thanks everyone for listening.
thanks,
We
everyone.
will see you next week when maybe Gino and Jasmine go to therapy.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Bye.
Bye.